Welcome back to Lyle's Garage. As always, I'm Lyle, and this is my garage.
I give her all my love, that's what I do. And if you saw my love,
Today we're going to be starting work on a 1975 XL350. It's a 350cc. I got this from an auto auction about a year, maybe 2 years ago, and I think I only paid $100 for it. During the auction, nobody was bidding on it, so I just threw up a bid and ended up getting it. I ended up getting like 4 or 5 bikes that day, to tell you the truth. And I've just been hoarding a few of these on the side of my house. It came basically looking like this. So this isn't because of my neglect. This was somebody else's, and then I just continued the neglection? I don't know. We're going to go ahead and get started on this. Let me get you in there and we'll take a look around and I'll show you some of the good features and some of the silly stuff. So as I mentioned, I got this from an auto auction. There's no title with it. I just have a bill of sale from the auctioneer company. It did come with a key. The bike itself has 14,291 and 6/10 miles. It's got pretty much a lot of the original stuff on it. I bought it just to try and see if I could get it running. And if it doesn't run, then I just have a whole bunch of really good hardware for all my other projects. Some of the best things about this bike are the hubs and the hoops. The hubs on it look great. And the hoops on the back, a hoop on the back looks great. The hoop on the front has some pitting in this one area right here. But it feels really solid. Doesn't feel like it's rotted on the inside. Tire obviously has given up the ghost. That's okay. Front fender gave up the ghost. That's alright. Lots of things are broke on it, and that's all alright. One of the cool things is it was missing a turn signal on the front, and somebody actually stuffed it back here just so it stayed with the bike. I thought that was really nice of them. So we got all of the turn signals. Obviously the seat is probably the biggest eyesore of the whole thing. The bike's piston is seized, so it will not kick over. It has all of the carburetor airbox accessories, so that's really good. I assume all the carburetor's there, but I saw this screw right here, so this makes me think that it has been tampered with a little. Intake boot we'll just assume is perfect, and the air filter screen is there, so all we need is the element, which they still sell on like eBay, maybe Amazon, so that's good news. The motor itself looks pretty nice. It has all of the fins, has a lot of the original paint on it, except the clutch cover, of course. It looks really bad. And that's all right, though. It's nothing that's going to cause the bike to not run. It's just a little bit ugly. It has a typical boot rash type of stuff. A lot of rust here and there. You can see the rear brake pedal, the foot pegs. Everything's pretty crusty looking. So there's a slight chance we might be able to paint this. I don't really want to get that into this bike, though, because these aren't worth that much when they're nice. So the hub on the back and the hoop looks great. Most of the spokes are fine. There's a little bit of surface rust, but there's no integral issues. Has the rear fender, tail light. It's got a gas tank, sort of. What else we got? We got the original headlight. And we got a lot of mystery wires. And front forks were real leaky. When I power washed it, there was just crud everywhere. So I know I'm going to have to do the front fork seals if I really want to run this bike. The bike did come with keys, and they do fit the ignition switch. I hooked up a 9-volt battery to the positive and negative, turned on the key, and I saw one of the lights on the instrument cluster turn on. So I know that the key is the correct key and the ignition switch is working. We're missing a points cover here, and this obviously has taken some abuse, so we'll have to get that stuff apart and de-rust it and put a new little points setup on. No battery. We're missing the elastic strap and the side cover. That side cover is probably one of the biggest items that it's missing. What else do we have here? We've got some issues here with that clutch adjustment dilly. And honestly, I don't even know what's going on there, but that looks hectic. to put it nicely. Again, no broken fins. It's got the original exhaust. This thing feels like it must weigh like 100 pounds just for the muffler. The heat shield is looking great. The main problem with this exhaust though is it's got leukemia, maybe cancer, I don't know, but she's sick. So we might just ignore that. And the whole header pipe is pretty crusty, but it's still solid. So before we get into the gas tank, we got original pods here that are all crusty and don't really do much. Same with this. This won't turn, so I'm sure that's just full of dirt and dirt daubers or something. Let's take a look at the gas tank. That thing's pretty wretched. The gas cap's really nice, as you can see. That'll clean up. Unfortunately though, it is full of horrid, nasty stuff. Can you see that at all? There we go. And to make matters worse, I can't really show you, but you just got to trust me. Down in there is actually old gas. And it smells super gnarly. Ugh. That's going to make me get a headache or throw up. Oh, it smells so bad. It smells like rotting, wet cardboard that's covered in mold and had a whole bunch of like furniture varnish dumped on it, and maybe some little splash of baby vomit. It smells really bad. So I'm hoping that thing will be able to be cleaned up with some Vapo Rust. So the whole thing is probably not worth redoing like I do normally on my other bikes. So we'll just do like a tune-up and see if we can get it running. And if you end up seeing this on the channel, then obviously I got it running. If you never see this video, then obviously I just trashed the bike. So I was actually all out of the Marvel Mystery Oil substance. So I went with the tried and true old school WD-40. After I got the spark plug out, I just hosed down the WD-40 for a while. I know it was in time lapse, so it probably happened in a fraction of a second, but I was standing there for like 15 seconds, just mowing it down. I'm not certain how much you understood by the time lapse crap, but after I put the oil in, I just couldn't wait, and I went and tried to kick it, and it wouldn't even budge. So I probably did the wrong thing, and I karate chopped it one time, and it immediately broke free. So I think I'm just going to test the oil a little bit and see if it has any viscosity. And if it does, I'm just going to leave it. And what I'd like to do is get the bike running first before I invest 15 to 20 bucks worth of oil in it. And then once we get it running, we can, run it for a little bit, and then it'll gather all the crap out, and then we can drain all the crap out with the old oil. So the plan for right now is I'm just going to try and see if we can get something sparking. All right, boys. Well, I think it's probably been 10 minutes since I started this project. We already got the cylinder piston freed up, and I got spark. So I was thinking that I wouldn't be able to get spark because of the on-off switch being broke, but it's actually stuck on the on position, so the coils are always on. So I hooked up the spark plug after I cleaned it off, and bada bing bada boom, we have spark. So I'll go ahead, I'll get you all the way in there, and then I'll turn off the light, and then we can kick it over and you guys can see the spark of glory. All right, so take a look right here. I know it's dark, but the spark will light the way. You see that crap? Amazing. So that means basically all we got to do now, get some fuel delivery system happening. And we don't even really need a battery, I don't think. I don't know. Obviously it's got spark without the battery. So I'm thinking the battery is just for all the lights. So let's go ahead and let's stick some gas in and just see what happens. Alright, so I got the fuel bladder hooked up. Had to take off the old fuel line. It was just rock hard and brittle, so I cracked all that to pieces and pulled it off. A couple problems we have is the throttle cable isn't hooked up and the throttle tube is broken. The choke is stuck and the choke cable is stuck. So I unhooked the throttle cable there and I can smush the choke down manually, but unfortunately it's spring loaded, so I'm gonna have to kind of hold a whole bunch of things while we're trying to start it. But let's give it a few shots. Let's see if we give it like 50 kicks if she wakes up. And you know, we'll probably throw some starter stuff in there, some ether, and just kind of help it out a little, huh? So we need the throttle wide open. Throw some of that crap in there. Hold that choke down and let's see. All right, I don't know how many kicks that was, but I'm sweaty. So obviously that's not ready to run yet. I didn't hear it spark once, so I'm assuming the carburetor, probably the idle jet passageway is all blocked. Whew. So anyways, I guess we gotta do the carb tango, maybe do the oil change after all. So we'll get started. Here's all the pieces that have all been through the ultrasonic. I also took the carburetor top and the flow bowl and probably a couple other pieces and put them through the buffer polisher. Everything came out really nice, pretty clean. But most importantly, I don't see any reason why this carburetor won't work. Everything looks very nice, still usable. I have a carburetor kit coming in the mail. Once that gets here, we'll put it all back together. So unfortunately, one of the bolts broke as I was putting on these little tappet covers. Let me zoom you in there and you'll be able to take a look better. So the bolt must have already been cracked or something, because I think I probably only put maybe like, I don't know, 30 or 40 inch-pounds on it. So, and it severed itself pretty easily. It's kind of a pain, but anyways, luckily part of it's hanging out. I'll see if I can't just grab it with some pliers and twist it out. Last few steps we got to do is we got to get the cam chain adjusted, put the carb back on, maybe the air filter box, and then put the battery in. guys, so here we go. Got key on, got coil on. Oh goodness, I'm gonna choke on a little bit, maybe. And here we go. No choke. I believe it ran for a little bit there. Start. Piece of crap. Huh? Why won't you? What's wrong with you? Huh? Your feelings hurt? Huh? Somebody tell you you're butt ugly? That your mom was a scooter? Your dad's Pinocchio? Come on, just start. Give me something. Just give me something. Holy crap. Might have forgot to put the side cover on over here. Oh crap. Got oil everywhere. I got a little too excited. Damn it. But she runs. It's pretty amazing. All that hard work, finally, we got you to run. Got the tube and tire changed, and while I had that all apart, I went ahead and cleaned out all of the brake stuff. This little guy here, this dowel that comes in and hooks up to the armature, was almost seized. It had a whole bunch of old fork oil that had leaked down the fork and gotten into here. And anyways, cleaned it all up and got all of the axle cleaned up and everything else. So we'll get that all together next. As you just saw, we got the brakes all put back together and they're working really well. We got the new tube and tire put on. Also just had a birthday, and my wife got me a couple of these UFO fenders. And they're just kind of like a generic replacement one. You can just drill your own holes and put it on to whatever application. It's kind of like a spacey UFO looking theme. Doesn't really go with the Japanese theme, but that's alright. Looks way better than having nothing there. I also got all of the cables off and lubed them all and got them all freed up because they were all seized. Probably not the best thing to do considering they're only $10, $15 each, but that's what I did. So everything works now on the bike, which is wonderful, except the headlight and turn signals. I also went through and got the gas tank. We did the de-rust solution with the Evapo-Rust. After a few days, it still had some more caca in there, so right now it's in timeout out in the shed with 2-stroke gas. I pick it up and shake it every now and then, and hopefully in a few days the rest of that stuff will come around and get out of there. I found a really nice, well, I assume, really nice cover that's going to fit this. And on Amazon, I'll put the little picture up there in case you want to try to find it yourself. And I'll make some foam for that and cut it down to shape, and we'll just kind of do a DIY seat foam. Hopefully it looks alright, gives us somewhere to sit. So I de-rusted that whole seat pan and painted that with some primer and some enamel spray paint. I also found a tail light lens on Amazon. I'll put that up here so you can see that in case you want that also. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the rear fender and probably address some of this nasty stuff here, clean it, put some of the right hardware back on, and then I'll probably spray paint this rear fender just to quickly make it look nice. We got clutch happening. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the video, there was no clutch because the cable was seized. So we got that working, and I think it might be clutching. I don't even want to get into there because that just looks like a nightmare. So if the clutch decides it doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do, I don't care. I'll start the bike in neutral, roll it down my driveway, and jump it into gear and have a good time. We'll probably try to end the video with getting the bike outside and me doing a run up and down the street. It's probably going to smoke so bad that it'll cause a complete whiteout in the neighborhood. And that's great because that's what the neighbors love. And you got to deliver to the fans, right? So speaking of delivering, I'm going to get back to work. And yeah.